Guys, ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸುರೇಶ್ sir. Today I am going to discuss with you one of the very interesting topic, first chapter, that is electric fields and charges. So I am going to discuss with you some of the important formulas which are very essential for CET, NEET and JEE. So I am just going to discuss with you some of the formulas briefly. So before that, my channel is SK Simplified Physics Classes YouTube channel. So please subscribe and encourage us. So let's, without wasting much time, let's get in to the formulas. So let's go to the first formula. This is very important formulas which are very important for the theory as well as competitive examinations. So first one is the charge on the body. Charge on the body. So that is given by Q is equals to N into E. So where N is the number of charges and E is the magnitude of the each charge. So in any case, when you take the any charged body, so the charge of that body is depending upon the number of charges. As we know that the positive charge and negative charge magnitude is same, so that is why that depends on the number of charges. So it may be a positive charge or negative charge, therefore we can use plus or minus into N into E. So we may expect one simple problem in theory also in 1 mark question. So regarding this problem, so where Q is the total charge of the body, N is the number of charges, so E is the magnitude of the each charge. So second one is Coulomb's law. This is very important law, first law in second year chapter, Coulomb's law. So we know that Coulomb's law means the electrostatic force of attraction or repulsion between any two static charges is directly proportional to the product of their magnitude of the charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So let's take the formula is F equals, so 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. So here Q1 and Q2 divided by R square. So where Q1 and Q2 is the magnitude of the two charges. So this is Q1. So this is Q2. These are the magnitude of the two charges, and there is a distance between the two charges. So then, so we can calculate the what is the force between the two kind of charges at a distance. So here this is a constant value. So 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. So that is given by, so 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught equals, so 9 into 10 to the power of 9. This is the constant value, 9 into 10 to the power of 9. So Q1, Q2 are the magnitude of the charges, R is the distance between the two charges. Then we can calculate the force, electric force. So this is in case of vacuum. So vacuum or in air. So vacuum or in air. Supposed to be the two charges kept inside any other medium. So then the force is given by 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught epsilon r. So Q1 divided by Q1 Q2 divided by R square. So this is the expression in terms of any medium. We can consider it may be glass medium or water medium or any other medium. So except vacuum and A. So this is epsilon r. So this is called as dielectric constant or relative permittivity. So that epsilon r is given by the ratio of the electrostatic force between the two charges in the air medium to the some other medium other than air or vacuum. So that is called as dielectric constant or relative permittivity. So next, the Coulomb's law be written in vector form. So this is very important in the theory exam, especially it is asking the write the equation for Coulomb's law in vector form. It is asking. So that can be represented by F equals 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. So this is Q1, Q2 divided by the distance can be taken R12 square. So this is the unit vector R12. So here this is the direction is important here. So unit vector. So this is the direction it is taken from. So Q2 to Q1. So this is Q2 to Q1. So this is given by R12. So R12 is the direction that represents from the charge Q2 to Q1. So then the force is given by F12. So this is the force is acting on the charge Q1 by Q2. So Q1 on the charge Q1 by Q2. This is the force. It is given by F12. So R12 is the distance. F12 is the force acting on the first charge by the second charge. So this is in the vector form. So similarly, we can write, supposed to be the force is acting on the charge Q2 by Q1. So that is given by F21. This is equals to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. So Q1, Q2 divided by R21 square. So this is R21 unit vector. So this is how we can represent. As we know that the unit vector. So unit vector can be represented as the ratio of the position vector to its magnitude. This is called as unit vector. So that can be represented in different way. So this is about this second equation. So Coulomb's law. So next one. Electric field, the region of space around the charge, so within which a test charge experiences the force. So that is called as electric field. So that is given by according to electrostatic force. So E is equals to F divided by Q naught. So where F is the electrostatic force between the two charges and Q naught is the test charge. The force experienced by the unit positive test charge is called as electric field. So there is one more formula for electric field. Electric field that is given by E equals 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. So this is Q divided by R square. So when Q is the charge, so that is the source charge which is producing the electric field. So and R is the distance at which we are calculating the electric field. The distance at which what is the electric field? So that is given by R. So this is electric field. So next is the electric field due to an electric dipole. So what is the electric field due to the dipole? Before that, so what is the dipole moment? So dipole moment, we know that the electric dipole means a system consisting of two equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance, that is called as electric dipole. So that is given by, so this is minus q and this is plus q. So there is a distance is 2a. 2a is the distance. So such a system is said to be electric dipole. So dipole moment is calculated by the formula. It is the product of magnitude of either charge. The strength of the charge is same. So P is equals to Q into 2A. So this is the expression for the dipole moment. So sometimes in examination, so 1 marks it is asking, so what is the direction of the dipole moment? So direction of dipole moment, it is taken from negative charge to positive charge. negative charge to positive charge. This is the direction of dipole moment. We should write from negative charge to positive charge. That is the direction of the dipole moment. And this is the expression. So 2a is the distance between the two charges and q is the magnitude of the either charge. Electric field at a point on the axial line of the electric dipole, it is given by axial line of the electric dipole is given by 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. So this is 2p r divided by r square minus a square whole square. So this is the expression. So as we know that 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught is constant. So p is the dipole moment, r is the distance at which we have to calculate the electric field. So r divided by r square minus a square. So a square, a is the length of the electric dipole. That means from the center to the positive charge or from the center to the negative charge. So that is represented by a square. So this equation can be represented in vector form. So that is EA is equal to, so that is for the short dipole. For short dipole, so this expression is given by, so EA divided by EA equals 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. So 2p r divided by, so when the length of the dipole is very small compared to the distance at which to calculate the electric field. Suppose to be we are calculating the electric field at this point. This is the point at which we are calculating the electric field. So this is the distance from the center of the dipole to the point at which we have to calculate the electric field. When this distance is very small compared to the distance at which we have to calculate the electric field, then it is neglected. A is neglected here. So then r square whole square. So then this is given by 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. So 2p r divided by r to the power of 4. So then, so this will be cancelled. So this is 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. So this is 2p divided by r cube. 2p divided by r cube. So this is the expression for short dipole. So generally we are using this expression to calculate the electric field at a point on the axis of the dipole. This is called axis of the dipole. So in the vector form, the same expression can be represented 4 pi epsilon naught. So 2p divided by r cube. So it is p cap. So here the direction of the electric field, if it is along the direction of the dipole moment, so it is taken as positive. If you are taking opposite to the direction of dipole moment, then it is taken as negative. So next is the expression for electric field at a point on the equatorial line of the electric dipole. Suppose we are calculating the electric field on the equatorial line. This is equatorial line. So this is axial line. So then the expression is given by along the equatorial line. So this is a 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. So this is given by, so p divided by r square plus a square whole to the power of 3 by 2. So this is the expression. So whole to the power of 3 by 2. Here this is 2p. So here this is only p. So this is the expression. So for short dipole, this is general expression for short dipole. So EE equals 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught p divided by, so here r square whole to the power of 3 by 2 as usual for short dipole. So we are neglecting the a value compared to r value, so that this will becomes 4 pi epsilon naught. So p divided by, so square and square will be cancelled. So this is R Q. So, but in vector form, so this is given by 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught P divided by R cube into P cap. So this will be negative. So here the dipole moment is opposite to the direction of the resultant electric field. So next is the torque. So what is torque? So torque is given by tau. So torque means force into perpendicular distance. So that is given by P cross E. P cross E. So this is the vector product. So it is given by Pe sin theta. So where P is the dipole moment, E is the electric field, and theta is the angle between P and E. This is the expression. So next is we move on to continuous charge distribution. So regarding the continuous charge distribution, so linear charge density. So that is denoted by lambda. So this is Q divided by L. So where Q is the magnitude of the charge and L is the length of the charge. So SI unit is coulomb per meter. So surface charge density. Surface charge density, that is denoted by sigma. So this is charge per unit area. So that is this is coulomb per meter square. Yes, sir, this is area meter square. And volume charge density. So volume charge density. So that is given by rho, denoted by rho. So this is charge per unit volume coulomb per meter cube, because SI unit of volume is meter cube. So next is the applications of Gauss law and Gauss law. So what is Gauss law? The total electric flux over a closed surface is equals to 1 by epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed in that surface. So that flux is given by Q divided by epsilon naught. So we know that the another equation for flux according to definition. So flux is equals to E ds cos theta. So this is according to definition. So this is according to Gauss law. So Q by epsilon naught E ds cos theta, where ds is the area vector, E is the electric field, theta is the angle between E and ds. So now the electric field at a point due to an uniformly charged infinite length of the wire. So then for that the expression for electric field is given by E is equals to lambda divided by 2 pi epsilon naught R. So this is the wire which is having the uniform charge density. So it can be maintained plus or minus. So this is the infinite length of the wire on both sides. So the charge density may be a positive charge density or it may be a negative charge density. So lambda is the linear charge density as we have discussed earlier. So R is the distance at which we can calculate the electric field. So this is the point, P is the point. So this is the distance from the infinite wire to the point at which we have to calculate the electric field. So here L is the length. L is the length. So next one is another application of the Gauss law. Electric field at a point. So due to an infinitely uniformly charged infinite sheet. So that is for the sheet. So we may consider the positively charged sheet or negatively charged sheet. Positively or negatively charged sheet. So we have to imagine that Gaussian cylinder on both the surface. So this is the distance this is the distance, this is the distance R. So at which here the electric field and area vector, so both are in the same direction, both are in the same direction. So this is the electric field and area vector, both are in the same direction. So here also we have to imagine that Gaussian cylinder around the conductor in any point. So this is given by E is equals to sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. So epsilon naught is the permittivity of the free space. So sigma is the surface charge density. So let us take the last expression. So expression for electric field at a point due to a spherical shell, uniformly charged spherical shell. Uniformly charged spherical shell. So that is given by, so E is equals to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. So this is Q by R square at a distance. So this is supposed to be, this is the point P. So R is the distance from the center of the spherical shell. So this is the R square. So supposed to be, if you want to calculate what is the electric field at the surface of the spherical shell, so then this is given by E is equals to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by, so at this point, so the distance R is equals to capital R. So that is why it is R square. So finally, so if you want to calculate what is the electric field inside the spherical shell. So here, so if it is a positively charged spherical shell, all the charges are accumulating on the surface of the spherical shell, so that there are no charges inside the spherical shell. So when there is no charges, so then the electric field, because it is directly proportional to the charge in the material, so that electric field is equals to 0 inside the spherical shell. So that we can graphically represent, so what is the electric field with respect to distance. So supposed to be, this is the distance at which the distance is equals to radius of the spherical shell at the surface. So this is inner surface, this is inner surface, and this is outer surface. So inner surface, the electric field is equals to 0 at the inner surface. At the outer surface, the electric field is decreasing because electric field is inversely proportional to square of the distance. So it is like that. So like these formulas are very important for theory as well as competitive exams. It may be KCET, NEET as well as JEE. So thank you.